Black women mostly didn't show up to the protests, but they did so mostly for their own safety. And the thing that I have to say about that is, first of all, I completely understand why they didn't physically show up to the protests.
Black Women's Project 2025 is to rest. We've done all we can. We've done all we can. I said in my last video that community is the answer.
We have marched, we have screamed, we have cried. But do you know what truly terrifies white America? When black people go silent, not quiet out of fear, but quiet like strategy, quiet like a storm loading.
I replied, this comment is entirely false in every regard. You're a white person who categorizes yourself as a commie. So obviously you think that protests are only effective if black people are there to be under the tank treads, right? You think that it's only a real protest if black people and the cops are there and the black folks are being brutalized by the police. This tells me all I need to know about you. Tankies want their fantasy of a bloody revolution. Forgive the Homestuck reference here, but they don't want a LARP revolution, they want to FLARP it. They want fatal live action role play, and they want the most vulnerable folks in the community to be sacrificed, to be brutalized, because they think it will bring about their authoritarian communist utopia. When I say that white tankies, white communists are not safe, and that they want authoritarianism, they just want their own flavor of it. They don't actually want liberation. They don't actually care about the most vulnerable. They don't actually care about injustice. They just care about their fantasy. This is exactly what I...
Just a reminder to my fellow white people, you are not an ally if black men and black women are telling you that they are not going to protest on it because it will put their lives in harm's way, and you throw a tantrum saying, oh, we all have to work together. Shouldn't we all come together? We the people. Don't you care about the future, about the children, about... The time to come together was at the election. We failed them. So now their rest is their resistance, and they are staying home and staying safe as they should, because their lives are too precious to put on the line. And what would cost me and people who look like me getting yelled at, or at the worst tear gas, which isn't likely, would cost them their physical lives. And they've already been giving those lives for centuries in this country for all the rights that we enjoy. So it is our turn.
I made a video talking about the problems with Gen Z not being involved in the protests that happened. And in addition to that, it's especially worrying because of this trend of Gen Z being more conservative than millennials. And in response to that, I got a couple of comments along these lines referring to the fact that Black women mostly didn't show up to the protests, but they did so mostly for their own safety. And the thing that I have to say about that is, first of all, I completely understand why they didn't physically show up to the protests. No, they shouldn't have to. But I want to be so absolutely clear with everyone that just because Black women were not at the protests does not mean that they weren't involved. Because my friend and I are both comment on political topics like this, and we live streamed the entire protests. And I don't think that it's a coincidence that the majority of people watching and commenting on those protest videos were Black women. The Black women that didn't go to the protests for, mind you, safety reasons, because police tend to treat people who are protesting while you're being a person of color much differently. Black women still stayed informed, stayed engaged, and showed support and solidarity with the people who were out there protesting. So I hope that clears some things up. The issue on Gen Z not being as progressive as millennials and not showing up, I kind of view that as a separate issue. And if you are a Black woman, yeah, that doesn't apply to you for not showing up. But I do think that it's still something that we should all be more aware of, that Gen Z is more conservative than millennials are.
Hey, white people, let's talk. Sometimes I forget that white people aren't as engaged with Black creators on this app and in the world as I am. So there was something over the weekend that I thought everybody was very well aware of, but I'm understanding that that's not the case. I was talking to my mom today, and she and my brother went to a protest on April 5th. To protest Trump and all of the things that have been happening for the last couple of months. So she was telling me about her experience, and she said it was like a love fest. It was so nice to be with all of these people, thousands of people, and everybody signs and all this stuff. And I said to her, did you notice that there weren't many Black people there, if any? She was like, yeah, actually, I did notice and I was confused. And I was like, I thought Black people were really upset about him too, and I didn't understand. This is my mom talking. So I explained to her that 92% of Black women and 80 some percent of Black men did what they were supposed to do back on November 5th. And they are now resting and they are not participating in these here protests. And that there was a concerted effort for Black folks to stay home yesterday on April 5th. And to be honest, I think she's still confused about the why. But I'm working on that. But do yourself a favor and follow Black content creators here on TikTok, because you will learn so much and you will be able to use your new knowledge to help educate the people that you are in proximity with. But yeah, white folks, if you didn't know, Black folks said, we're not marching on April 5th. We're not doing it. We're going to stay home. We're going to let white people get us out of this mess because white people got us into this mess. The more you know.
Black people in America, do not do it. Do not do it. Do not do. They are trying to gaslight you so much. If your silent protest was not working, they would not be trying to actively gaslight you. How are you going to say that you're going to free George Floyd's... I'm not even going to say his name because he's not worthy. You're going to free him. That didn't work. They said they're going to do this. That didn't work. They said they're going to do that. That's not going to work. This segregation, it ain't going to work. They're destroying graves. It's not going to work. Stand firm. The silent protest is working. They need a scapegoat. They need a target. If you go out there and crash out, all that's going to happen is you're going to be the distraction. You're going to be the target, and they will still put the same laws and the same protocols in. They will just use you as a scapegoat of why they're doing it. And then everyone else will blame you for the reason why everything is going so badly. Let the others handle their own business, okay? I've never been so proud of you in my life. Watching from the UK, it's like everyone collectively just said, I'm gonna sip water and mind my business. And honestly, as crazy as it is to watch everything unfold in America, your silent protest is working. Keep going.
Black Women's Project 2025 is to rest. We've done all we can. We've done all we can. I said in my last video that community is the answer. That's it. I need you to tap in to the people who love and care about you. I need you guys over the next few months to take inventory of what resources that you have that can be shared amongst you. If you are Christian, this is a very biblical value, right? Acts, they had all things in common. Christianity is actually a very communal, despite what we've seen and heard, Christianity is a very communal religion. And so Project 2025, Black folks, Black women especially, your job is to rest. Kick up your feet. Take off the cape. We showed up. We showed out. We spoke up. We did what we were supposed to do. It is now time to rest. And I'm saying Black women, but Black men as well. Black men as well. It is your time to rest. Rest is an act of resistance. Rest is a rebellion. It is. And I don't mean rest like be apathetic, because that's not what we need. Some of us do need to organize, but I want you to organize for your community, not to save the country. We're done with that now. We're done with that. We'll vote again in 2026 and do our part in the midterm elections to boost whatever we can. But your Project 2025, no matter what happens with the actual Project 2025, which remains to be seen, your job is to do your best, to love yourself, to dig deep, deep roots in your community, and to see what we can do together. We have officially been outed out of this democracy. It's not for us. We will reap the consequences, but we are resilient. Black people are resilient. There was another creator on here. She made a video, and I think I reposted it. But she said, like, we've been through this. We know what to do. We've been faced with this before. For the minorities who wanted white proximity so bad that you voted against yourselves, I pray and I hope that you learn very quickly and you assimilate very quickly to the resilience, the level of resilience that you will need for you to thrive in this new and upcoming democracy. I will speak more on this as I feel like I'm going to be making videos throughout today, but rest today, especially. I unfortunately plan to see a client today because I was optimistic. So I'm going to do that. But other than that, I was going to get some work done today. I am resting. I'm going to take care of my household. I might clean up a little bit, but I am investing in me. And then I'm going to have some TLC. I have some TLC planned later this evening. And then this weekend, me and my girls have a sleepover planned. That's what I'm doing in response to this. And of course, I'm going to spend some time in prayer and I'm going to journal. I'll make another video soon about like how to cope and how to process. Please stay tuned. I'm already planning to meet with colleagues on how we can support our community during this time. So stay tuned. There will be free resources that I am working on. So yeah.
America is used to black anger. It is expected. They label it aggression, put it on TV, turn it into headlines. Anger is visible, it is emotional, it is reactive, and most importantly, it is predictable. They know how to diffuse anger, give a speech, cut a check, offer symbolic justice, and hope we go back to sleep. When we go silent, we are thinking, we are organizing, we are building schools, buying lands, teaching our children off camera. That is not chaos, that is control, and a controlled black mind is far more dangerous to white supremacy than a loud one. White America did not burn Tulsa because we were angry. They burned it because we were silent and successful. Because we were more strategic, not screaming. They did not fear Malcolm X because he yelled. They feared him because he spoke calm, clear, and controlled. Their silence between words, that is where the danger lived. When we go silent, we are doing the one thing white supremacy cannot monitor. Building institutions, passing down knowledge, circulating money within, planning moves without validation. No tweet, no hashtag, just momentum. Do not mistake silence for surrender. Do not mistake calm for comfort. The loudest revolutions do not always start with shouting. Sometimes they start with strategy, discipline, and focus. So when they ask, why aren't black people protesting today? Just smile, because silence is louder than any riot. White America fears black silence because it is the sound of power coming. And this time, we are not coming to negotiate, we are coming to own. Thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to like this video and share your thoughts in the comment box below. Until next time, cheers and have a good one.